It's that time again to say good morning to you, Grenada, Carrier, Cupidi, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. Welcome to Good Morning Grenada for today. It's Wednesday, W-E-D-N-E-S-A, you know the pronunciations. Wednesday, the 10th day of September. It's a good time to say good morning and happy birthday to you, Kadisha. Daughter, how you doing? I haven't heard you in a while. Hope you're doing fine. Happy birthday to you. And happy birthday to all those of you who are celebrating today. Good morning, Yulin Alexander. She says, good morning, Gordon. Good morning to everyone. Have a blessed, wonderful Wednesday, everyone. Stay safe. Yulin, good morning to you. Good morning, Mildred Smith. Lauren Salim out there in Hermitage. Good morning to you and the entire family. Hope you are doing fine. All those of you who are locked on at this time, I'm just wishing you a good day. Monica Meros Williams, good morning to you. How are you doing this morning? Nice. Reminding you it is a good day to have a good day in a good way. Wester Hall, good morning. Liverer in St. Patrick, good morning. Of course, the Sister Isles, how are you doing? Carrier, Cupidi, Martinique, the Southern Grenadines. Hope everything is fine. St. Vincent, how are you doing? Yeah. Now I'm experiencing some technical issues here with the WhatsApp platform this morning. I don't know why. For some reason, it is not loading. I don't know why, but nonetheless, Mr. Fixer Man is going to come in a few and get it sorted out. Speaking of Glenn Telesford, we lovingly call him GT. Yeah. Jesus in the morning, 25 minutes onto the 7 o'clock hour. Let's head on to the word of the day today, and that word is serene. Serene, S-E-R-E-N-E. Serene, S-E-R-E-N-E. That's the word of the day today. And what that word means is, let me tell you what serene means. It means calm and peaceful. Calm and peaceful. All right, S-E-R and peaceful. Here's how we can use serene in a sentence. The serene landscape was perfect for meditation. Yeah. In my case is up in Mount Agnes. Yeah, that's where I meditate. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. I don't know what you've been praying for, but I want to tell you this morning that things are already better. I said better. What's wrong? Things are already better. Die Stabien. Jillian McIntyre, good morning to you. Sylvina Charles, Mildred and Shem, good morning to you. Judy and Zamora. Mardi Gras, good morning to you. Randall Robinson, the Honorable. How are you doing, Papi? All right? You and the family good? Gratitude is a must. Boy, we didn't have to wake up, you know. So says Lauren. Nice. No matter what the pressures of life may bring to you, man, you've got what it takes to overcome. Be an overcomer. You are an overcomer.
Mommy, what y'all worry about? Why worry, man, when you can pray?
Nice. Good morning, Mama Can, Munich and surrounding areas. Teacher Roofing in Hope. Good morning. And while in Hope, good morning to Teacher Yvette and the Callis family, Mr. Ross Stumpy Callis. Good morning, Moms. Good morning. Hope all you're doing fine. Carol, good morning to you. Jim Chief Alexander, good morning to you and the family. How are you doing, bro? Mr. and Mrs. Charles, former teachers at McDonald College and the GBSS, good morning. Kenny James, good morning to you and the family, bro. How are you all doing? Hope all you're doing fine. It's Nadisha's time this morning as we bring forth the motivational tip of the day. Good morning, Miss G, and the folks in Coffee and surrounding areas. Pomerose, good morning. Esther, good morning to you and your son. Hope you all are doing fine. Doggy, good morning. Lady Cheryl, good morning to you. Latent, yeah. Corinth and surrounding areas. Gail, good morning to you. Birthday coming up, girl. Up in the Mohai. Yolan Swan just joined us. Good morning to you, Mr. Joseph, and to all on the morning program. Creating us a clean heart and renew the right spirit within us. Yeah. So the motivational tip of the day is up next. Embrace the power hour. Dedicate one focused hour to work on your goals without distractions. Quality time can lead to incredible progress. I was saying increase the progress, but incredible progress. So spend one full hour, a power hour. All right, dedicate one focused hour to work on your goals, and that must be done without any distractions. All right, no distractions at all. All right, quality time can lead to incredible progress. Yeah, Sylvina Charles, good morning. With Jesus in my life, things are getting better every day. Amen to that. Johnny, good morning to you and Angus Steele. And the folks inside of Wester Hall. Beaton, good morning. Boyo and the team. Powder Boy. Karen, good morning to you. I ain't telling somebody morning. Good morning. Nice. Cornbread, good morning. Louisa Flanders, Jillian McIntyre, and Sharon Bartholomew, have a productive day, my friends. So says Yoland Swan. Uncle Teely, good morning. Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, good morning. That is man. Oh my goodness me. Never a dull moment. That is man. Put it again. Nothing better than a good laugh in the morning, Miss Annie and Joe and the entire home circle. Good morning to you. Micah, belated happy birthday, bro. Daniel and Delia, Curtie and Carla, and the entire posse. Catherine Phillip, good morning. How are you doing? I know I owe you a call. I owe you a call. I owe you a call. Don't worry, you'll get some favor for that. Yeah. You'll get some favor. Yeah. Tanti Marcy, Keisha and Khalid and the folks at the Care Bears, good morning. Tanti and Tempe, good morning. Mount Parnassus, Rady and surrounding areas, Parade. The folks in the bar just by the container of your joy. I St. Augustine Medical Services up there. How are you doing? Billy, good morning to you, bro. Of all the good things you have done. Roger, the barbecue man. The season for emphasis is coming, right? Emphasize on the meat. You still lavish them upon me. The folks in Trinidad and Tobago, good morning. That is man, Julian. That is man. Your favor is upon me, Lord. You all think all you like, you know. Kathy and Kenneth, Zuri and Solange in Sunshine State, Florida. Good morning. Lord, what's buzzing this morning? Let's see what's making the rounds this morning. Well, Health Ministry wraps up a PAHU consultation. Lord, Minister calls for action on student gambling. That's a serious thing. I remember a colleague of mine called me and I raised that topic a while back, earlier in the year, in Tantin to be precise. In the region, a cruise passenger jumps overboard in Puerto Rico. Feel like a fish. Huh? Should leave you for a while. 5 people killed in Israeli airstrike in Qatar. And in sports, Ronaldo equals World Cup qualifying goal record. 39 of them. Wow. At age 40, yeah? That's a milestone. That's an accomplishment. Good morning, Commissioner Randy Connaught and the rest of your team. What? Yolan know my birthday to Papa? Thanks, Yolan. Thanks in advance. This month is going to be a month of favor. Great things are going to happen for us. Claim it. You know what I'm saying? Yolan have me cracking up. Folks, the AM edition of News, Sports and the Weather is coming up right after these messages. Don't you go anywhere. Stick and stay with us.
It's upon me, Lord, favor.
It's a busy world, and we all know the saying, time is money. Meet Candice and Oliver. They both have busy days ahead. Let's see how that goes. Candice is in a rush, off to the bank, again. Oh, looks like she didn't plan for traffic, or this long line either. Now let's check in on Oliver. His morning starts a little differently. Using his phone, Oliver makes a peer-to-peer transfer and pays his bills, all while having his morning coffee. At the store, Oliver checks his finances with online banking. Candice? Still waiting. Back to Oliver. He stops at the bank to meet his loan officer. While waiting, he schedules a payment and makes a wire transfer. Wondering about Candice? Yup, still waiting. Candice could be like Oliver if she uses Co-op Bank's e-solutions. Make your day easier with Co-op Bank's swift, simple, and secure e-banking platform. Bank on your terms, from anywhere, at any time. Click, tap, done. Banking just got easier.
Welcome home.
Need to check your bill balance? Use the Grenlec mobile app. Open the Grenlec mobile app and tap the icon labeled Balances at the bottom of the screen. View your bill details, including your current bill balance, the due date by which you must settle your bill, the amount and date of the last payment you made. It's quick, easy, and available 24/7. Convenience at your fingertips.
Grenada, get ready to cheer for Kirani, Anderson, Lyndon and others as they join over 2,000 athletes from around the world in Tokyo, Japan for the 2025 World Athletic Championship from September 13th to 21st. GBN Television goes live from the Japan National Stadium, bringing you exciting coverage of every race, every throw, every jump as the athletes vie for track and field supremacy. Remember the dates: September 13th to 21st, the 2025 World Athletic Championship, Tokyo, Japan, live on GBN Television, 7 and 11. Compliments: Grenada Cooperative Bank, Hubbard's, Grenlec, and the National Lotteries Authority.
For today, Wednesday, July 10th, not July, but September 10th, 2025. This is the GBN Morning News. Coming up in the news, Health Ministry wraps up PAHO consultation. Minister calls for action on student gambling. In the region, cruise passenger jumps overboard in Puerto Rico. Internationally, 5 killed in Israeli airstrike in Qatar. And in sports, Ronaldo equals World Cup qualifying goals record. The details to these and more right after these messages.
Looking to shop online from your favorite stores like Amazon and Shein? With GPC Global, it's never been easier. Get your very own US address and shop from around the world. With GPC Global, you can order the latest trends and must-have items, all delivered straight to Grenada to your closest post office for your pickup. We offer the cheapest rates, and our service is reliable and quick. No more waiting for weeks for your packages. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Join the Grenada Postal family today and start shopping smarter. Visit us online at www.grenadapostal.com or call us on 437-POST. That's 437-7678. GPC Global, your gateway to the world.
On Sunday, November the 9th from 5 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center, Legends Promotion presents the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert featuring the best of Grenada, along with 2 special guest artists. This edition promises to be extra special. Get ready, Grenada, to be blown with surprises at the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert, Sunday, November the 9th, 5 p.m. Grenada Trade Center. Stay tuned to GBN for more.
Hey, good morning once again, everyone. With the details, I am Gordon Joseph. Grenada's Ministry of Health has wrapped up a week-long consultation with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, to map services and identify gaps in the health system. PAHO advisor Dr. Vishwanath Patbasing called it a transformative step toward data-driven decision-making and equitable access. We have more in this report.
The service delivery planning exercise that we did we were able to map what is currently being delivered across the various delivery platforms. For example, within the community health services, there are different types of health facilities. We were able to map what services are available at each of those facilities, and similarly at the hospitals, both the hospital St. George's, Princess Alice, Princess Royal. So together, we now know as a network of care facilities how the services are aligned, where there is the continuity, where there are opportunities to strengthen integration, where there are opportunities to make what is not yet available in one particular location that should be available in another location. So in that way, you're strengthening the coverage and you're strengthening the comprehensiveness of care across various levels of care.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles said the findings will guide national health priorities, improve care delivery, and strengthen primary health services.
We compiled a priority list of health conditions that our health system manages or treats on a routine basis. We also mapped the resources to support service delivery. Resources such as our laboratory capacity, imaging, availability of specialists and other health workforce to deliver these services. It was important to undertake this because sometimes you need to understand the context in which you operate, what you are required to manage and deal with in order to plan how you are going to embark on offering the services that deal with these different conditions going forward.
Health officials believe the exercise provides a clear roadmap to optimize resources and boost access for all Grenadians. Education Minister Senator David Andrews says the government alone cannot address the issue of student gambling. It requires wider societal intervention. His comments follow a GBN report 2 nights ago which highlighted students and adults openly engaging in gambling near Tantin in St. George. Minister Andrews says the Ministry of Education will work with stakeholders to tackle the problem.
Stands in condemnation of this behavior of gambling among students in uniform, out of uniform. The Ministry of Education condemns that. We don't think it's a practice that ought to be encouraged, and we within the Ministry of Education will continue to work through our guidance and counseling officers, the Student Support Services Unit, to offer sessions in values education that will allow them to make appropriate decisions, respect for self, respect for others, respect for authority. All of these things will come in there. The value of work.
And still education related, the TA Marischal Community College is reporting an overall pass rate of 93.5% in this year's Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination CAPE. College officials say the strong performance reflects the hard work and students of students and staff. We have more in this report filed by the Government Information Service, Rikisha St. Louis.
Revealing a total of 54 grade 1s in 13 subject areas in CAPE Unit 1 and 51 grade 1s in 10 subject areas in Unit 2. 100% passes were recorded in CAPE Unit 2 in 10 subjects: applied mathematics, art and design, biology, environmental science, French, geography, literatures in English, physics, pure mathematics and Spanish. Other 2025 Unit 2 CAPE subjects with commendable performances were chemistry, economics, management of business, and sociology. The top 5 performers for Unit 1 are Leanne Williamson, Azim Langdon, Nicole Penny, Charlotte Isaac, and Elisa Goddard.
That story brings us to the end of the local segment of news. Stay with us for the regional and international developments, which will be followed by the sports and the weather. In the region, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told Marines aboard the USS Iwo Jima in Puerto Rico that the Caribbean deployment is not training, but a real-world mission to protect U.S. nationals' interest and combat drug trafficking. His visit comes amid rising tensions with Venezuela after a U.S. strike sank a Venezuelan boat in the Caribbean, killing 11 people. Washington claimed it was carrying narcotics, but rights groups have condemned the action as an extrajudicial killing. Lawmakers in Congress are divided, with some questioning the legality of the strike, while others in the administration defend it as necessary to curb the drug trade. In Puerto Rico, a Royal Caribbean passenger has been charged for jumping overboard to allegedly avoid paying a $16,000 gambling debt. Authorities say Jay Gonzalez Diaz leapt from the Rhapsody of the Seas in San Juan as the ship was being inspected by U.S. Customs. He was rescued by a passing jet ski and later found with nearly $15,000 in cash, multiple phones, and IDs. Federal prosecutors say he was trying to avoid currency reporting requirements. Looking further afield, Hamas says 5 of its members were killed in an Israeli airstrike in Qatar's capital, Doha, but claims an attempt to assassinate its negotiating team failed. The group said the strike hit a residential compound where leaders were discussing a U.S.-backed Gaza ceasefire proposal. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defended the action as justified, while Qatar condemned it as cowardly and a violation of international law. And finally, Australia has approved the first vaccine to protect endangered koalas from a devastating chlamydia epidemic. Scientists at the University of the Sunshine Coast have worked for more than a decade on the job, which aims to curb infection rates that reach up to 70% in some colonies. Researchers say the rollout to wildlife hospital, vet clinics, and wild populations could help save koalas from extinction. That's the regional and international news. Stay with us, folks. The sporting highlights are straight ahead. Sporting fans, soccer, football, what you call it, but Cristiano Ronaldo has equaled the all-time World Cup qualifying goal-scoring record, netting his 39th in Portugal's 3-2 win over Hungary. The 40-year-old striker now sits level with Guatemala's Carlos Ruiz and 3 ahead of Lionel Messi. Ronaldo's penalty added to goals from Bernardo Silva and João Cancelo, securing Portugal top spot in Group F with 2 wins from 2 games. Athletes at the World Championships in Tokyo will face tough hit conditions, so said World Athletics President Sebastian Coe. The 9-day event begins on Saturday with forecasts of 32 degrees Celsius for the opening 35-kilometer race walks. Unlike the 2021 Olympics, when marathons were moved to cooler Sapporo, endurance events will remain in Tokyo with early morning starts planned. Japan is experiencing its hottest summer on record, and Coe says sports may need to act where governments have failed in tackling climate change. That's all the sports we've got at this time. We'll have more sports during our luncheon edition and, of course, in our primetime newscast. Stay with us. The weather forecast is up next.
Whether you're refreshing a bedroom or giving your home a bold new look, the Color Shop has the perfect paint and tools to make it happen, inside and out. With quality finishes for every surface and accessories to match, we make painting easy from start to finish. Whether it's a DIY weekend or a contractor starting a brand new project, the Color Shop is the trusted choice.
And folks, for the latest weather forecast, we join forecaster Vondi Cyrus at the forecast desk at the MBIA. Good morning, Vondi.
Good morning to you and to your listeners. Here is weather for today, Wednesday, 10th September 2025. It is a fair morning with vicinity showers at the MBIA. Winds are from the east at 14 miles per hour. Barometric pressure is 1015.1 millibars. That is above normal and rising. The present temperature is 29.5 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity is 80%. Yesterday's maximum temperature was 31.4 degrees Celsius. Last night's minimum temperature was 27.3 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, 0.2 millimeters was recorded here at the MBIA. Hence, the total for the month goes to 47.5 millimeters. Now to look at the public forecast valid for today and tonight for the state of Grenada. The weather is expected to be mostly fair and hazy with light, isolated showers. Maximum temperature is expected to be around 32 degrees Celsius. Winds east-northeasterly to easterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour, gusting higher at times. Seas slight to moderate with waves up to 5 feet in open waters. Tides are currently falling, will be low at 11 a.m. and high at 5:30 p.m. Sunset today 6:11, sunrise tomorrow 5:56. Just a recap of the public forecast valid for today and tonight for the state of Grenada. The weather is expected to be mostly fair and hazy with light, isolated showers. From the Met Services, this is Wandy Cyrus. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Wandy. Have yourself a wonderful day. Likewise, folks. The weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of Rennick and Thompson Company Limited.
Shop with confidence at Quartz. Get the lowest prices guaranteed. Get appliances, furniture, electronics, and so much more. If you find a lower price on any other products elsewhere, we'll match the price. Plus, we'll give you back 110% of the difference. Shop with confidence only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
It's 3 minutes gone past the 7 o'clock to end the news. A recap of the headlines. On the local scene, Health Ministry wraps up PAHU consultation. Minister calls for action on student gambling. In the region, a cruise ship passenger jumps overboard in Puerto Rico. Internationally, 5 killed in Israeli airstrike in Qatar. And in sports, Ronaldo equals World Cup qualifying goal record. Now that has been the morning edition of news for today, Wednesday, 10th September 2025. On behalf of the entire news department, I am Gordon Joseph, thanking you for viewing and listening, wishing you a productive day, extending that invitation to you as always to stick and stay with the network, because we are with you anywhere and everywhere. The traffic report comes up momentarily. Stay with us.
Distributed by Echo Blue Limited. Visit us on the Lansopine Main Road or call 405-4818.
Welcome to Caracou, small in size, rich in spirit. As you step off the boat, you're greeted by smiling faces and warm island vibes. Your adventure begins here. Need a cozy place to stay? The Mermaid Beach Hotel has been a favorite for years. Waterfront views, clean comfort, and located in the town. In Bogles, the Roundhouse Cottages offers rustic charm with a touch of elegance. A peaceful hideaway surrounded by nature. Prefer something private? Dong Island Villas gives you space, sea breeze, and a home away from home feel. Wake up to the sound of waves and views that stretch for miles. We're ready to welcome you. When are you coming?
Claim your keys, open the door to more than you imagined before. New home, fresh start, make moves and play it smart. Expand, invest or renew. ACB's right there with you. With ACB Home Advantage Mortgages, you get up to 100% financing, reduced fees, and a $100,000 unsecured credit card. Claim your keys, open the door to more than you imagined before with ACB.
Terms and conditions apply.
Grenada. Exciting news. Oasis Pet and Garden has expanded. In addition to our existing location, we're now open at our new location, Melville Street, St. George's. Now serving you at 2 locations for even more convenience.
At Oasis Pet and Garden, we bring you the best products at the best prices nationwide. Check out our garden department for the best quality Pro Mix potting soil, vegetable seeds, and seedling trays, cocoa peat, liquid fertilizer, granular fertilizers, and more. Our livestock and livestock products are the highest quality and the best prices in Grenada.
Whether you're refreshing a bedroom or giving your home a bold new look, the Color Shop has the perfect paint and tools to make it happen, inside and out. With quality finishes for every surface and accessories to match, we make painting easy from start to finish. Whether it's a DIY weekend or a contractor starting a brand new project, the Color Shop is the trusted choice.
Grenada Community Partnership Initiative.
On behalf of the Ministry of Carriacou and PT Martinique Affairs and local government, and by extension the government of Grenada, we would like to say a heartfelt thank you to the Grenada Electricity Company, Grenlec, for coming on board with us to partner for the Build Back Better initiative by providing furnishings for the homes. And furnishings include beds, mattresses and other things, and we want to say that it has positively impacted the residents of those homes who have already benefited, and for those who will benefit, we know that it will positively impact their lives as we work together to recover Carriacou and PT Martinique.
Grenada, energizing our community.
All right, folks, it's now 9 minutes after 7 o'clock, and it's time for us to join Corporal Troy Paul from the Traffic Department of the RGPF for this morning's traffic report. Good morning, Corporal Paul.
Good morning to you and good morning to all your listeners, especially our drivers this morning. It is always a pleasure so that we can let persons know the traffic update on a morning time as they look forward to this information as they get to their destination safely and on time. It is that time of the day where we let persons know what is expected as relates to traffic safety, and we give persons the accident state for the past 24 hours. So I will start with the accident state, and we have a total of 10 minor accidents reporting for the past 24 hours. And we're still in the high zone, and we continue and ponder upon the drivers and also pedestrians. We had a pedestrian accident yesterday, and I want to improve on pedestrians as well, that we walk where there's sidewalks, we use pedestrian crossing, and we make use of all that is designed for us to have a safe crossing, safe walking, and we make sure we apply all our road safety tips. And our drivers, we cannot stop ponder upon you to drive safely on our nation's road. But as we dive straight into the traffic update, we have movements already along our roads, especially in our towns and all these adjoining roads. We're seeing a light in some areas to moderate traffic flowing through most of our streets, and that is as a result of mostly schools reopening and persons are heading to drop off their children from schools. And we're seeing most of those build up in school zones area, especially, and I will focus along the town area, and that we had some drone footage this morning. I'm not getting any at the moment. I believe that we're having some technical difficulties in that. But we're in the area of the Maratil, Tempe, Mount Parnassus, and we know what happens along the Lucas Street direction. We're seeing some movement along that area as well. So therefore, we ask that persons, if you are heading in either of these directions, we ask that you leave a little bit earlier so that you can get to those destinations on time. We ask also that persons, if you're heading to the Grenada direction, we're seeing some build-up in the area of, if you're heading deep south, down the Sugar Mill direction, that roundabout, we also seeing some build-up in traffic there as well. Also, the Calvini Public Road, we have some movement which leads onto the Toby Road and which exit onto the Grandlands Public Road. So persons, please do not leave home late and expect you to get to either of these destinations on time. We are seeing that the traffic is increasing, and what we're seeing, a lot of persons are using most of the by roads to get to their destination, and those by roads are now becoming congested as well. So we ask that you drive safely. And I want to appeal to persons who are living in those by roads. Gone are the days when those roads were quiet. Now they have active traffic. So if you're parking along either of these roadways, by 7 o'clock you should move your vehicle so that we will have a free lane of traffic. And you shouldn't park at all. But however, we understand certain circumstances and situations. So we do not want any unnecessary obstruction as persons travel along these roadways so that they can get to their work or destination. It is always a pleasure. We know that the work continues along the Grand Dance Public Road, the Morris Bishop Highway to be exact, and traffic continues to be diverted through the Frequency Public Road and also to the the Dusty Highway Public Road. So please be guided that the work still continues. And persons, if you have not left home as yet, please do so that you can avoid the rush of the traffic in the morning time. And also, what I didn't include, that the Cemetery Hill, Old Fort Road, these roads continue to be congested in the morning time. Montparnasse, Tempe, the St. Paul's, White Gun, Marfield, Lane, going all the way. And also, we're seeing that the Springs Road, we're seeing that build up traffic in the morning as we get closer to the 8 o'clock hour. So as I have stated, if you have not left home yet, please do so that we can avoid you being late or any unnecessary obstruction that will get you extremely late for work or even to get the kids to school at a morning time. And the question we continue to ask every morning, and we ask it this morning, if you are texting,
then who is driving? All right, the essence of that is you cannot and you should not. It's a chargeable offense to be texting and driving. Thank you, Corporal Paul. Thank you, Corporal Paul, and all the best to you and your team at the traffic department. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Folks, that was the traffic report. We take a commercial break. When we get back, we've got Ariza's Money Wise. Don't you go anywhere.
But when you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me, yes, I can. Whenever you're in need, yes, you can. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide, the light that shines our way. Wherever you run, we'll make your dreams come true. Next side, next side, next side, right next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Are you ready to take charge of your money, build wealth, and protect your family's legacy? Then join us on October 9th, 2025 at Radisson Grenada Beach Resort for your Financial Future 2.0, Legacy, Literacy, and Liberation, a one-day financial summit designed to break cycles, build wealth, and leave a lasting legacy. You'll gain real-life budgeting hacks, a money mindset reboot, steps to create generational wealth, and practical tips on investing, estate planning, insurance, health, and business finance, all from expert speakers who know how to turn knowledge into action. With 2 inspirational keynotes, 3 powerful panel discussions, and 6 breakout sessions, you will leave with your personalized action plan for success. Don't wait. Secure your seat today. Tickets are EC $350 at disruptiveleadershipconference.com/YFF. Your Financial Future 2.0. Your next chapter starts here.
Are you ready?
Grenada, get ready to move, groove, and celebrate wellness in style.
Everybody move, let your body move. This Saturday, September 13th, join us for the Caribbean Wellness Day Health and Wellness Walk, starting 3 p.m. sharp at the St. Paul's Police Station. Powered by the legendary Waggity sound system, we're walking through St. Paul's Main Road into Hope Vale and ending at Lavery Junction with a high-energy musical cool-down. Enjoy fresh fruit, ice-cold water, and good vibes all around. Bring your crew, bring your kids, bring the whole family. Everyone's invited to walk. Mark your calendar, Saturday, September 13th at 3 p.m. Let's walk for wellness, walk for life. See you there.
Need a little extra cash to make life easier or just a bit more exciting? Ariza's got you covered. With a Flexi Credit loan, you get up to $25,000 for any purpose. Vacations, home upgrades, back to school, or just a little treat. Get manageable amounts, flexible repayments, and the freedom to top up whenever you need it. No hassle, no pressure, just freedom to live life at your pace. Visit our website or call today and let your dreams take flight with our Flexi Credit Loan. Ariza Credit Union, your financial freedom, your future.
Welcome to MoneyWise, your guide to wise financial decisions, made possible by Ariza Credit Union. Welcome to MoneyWise, your guide to wise financial decisions, made possible by Ariza Credit Union. Welcome to MoneyWise, your guide to wise financial decisions, made possible by Ariza Credit Union. Welcome to MoneyWise, your guide to wise financial decisions, made possible by Ariza Credit Union.
Welcome, viewers and listeners. It's 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and of course, you know the drill. On Wednesday mornings, I am usually joined by a beautiful young lady, Miss Aurelian Lazarus. She says just call her Aurelian. It's Ariza's MoneyWise program. Good morning, Aurelian. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Innocent. I'm up with the birds.
Yeah.
The sun is shining.
Yeah.
It's all awesome.
It's a good day to have a good day.
It's a good day to have a good day. A great day at Ariza, we call it.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. And life is lifing.
Life is lifing. You can't stop that.
Definitely. Okay, we want to get into the program as always. And today is a very significant day. And Ariza, being as creative as it is in almost all facets of life, not only with finance, but life in general, today is being observed worldwide as Suicide Prevention Awareness Day, something like that. All right. And here we are this morning. We are tying that into the topic because more often than not, when people who contemplated suicide or attempted it but was unsuccessful, and you speak with them subsequently, one of the biggest problems, one of the cause is most times, if not all times, because sometimes some say infidelity and they go on here and they just cause that too, but financial stress.
Yes.
So we want to see how we can tie that in creatively into the day's observance today. So I'm going to ask you this question straight off the bat. Now, when people think of suicide prevention, finances aren't always the first thing that comes to mind. Why is it important to talk about financial literacy in this context. Mental health.
Wow.
Stress. And
this is quite a big topic this morning. So first, let me say good morning to your listening or watching audience, and to anyone who has felt the impact of something like this. Our compassion goes out to you. Hopefully there are a few survivors listening, and for the people who have lost loved ones to suicide, can we say we hope you're coping? They say life gets better after these kinds of tragic incidences, but like we say, we really, what we'd like to do is prevent it. So when it comes to finances and stress, research and lived experiences, you just would have mentioned other occasions that might contribute to the stress, but they show a connection between financial stress and mental health challenges. So it could be debt or job loss or just making ends meet, and people might feel a little overwhelmed and isolated. So these are the things that we think can contribute to suicidal thoughts. So because financial literacy is about empowerment, we think that once people understand money and how to budget and how to manage their debt, it may not take care of all of the troubles, but it gives you control over at least one area, which brings stability, and that can make a huge difference to mental health or mental well-being.
Yeah, well, it is said, money answereth to all things, right? An abundance of money might not alleviate all problems, but it gives you a different approach methodology in dealing with them.
Absolutely. I think it's always good to have options. Once people have options, is when you feel like you don't, and money, a little or a lot of it, can help with those
Makes
options. Yes.
All right. Now, you mentioned how financial struggles can weigh heavily on mental health. What are some of the signs that someone might be struggling, and how can we as friends, families, or caring institutions like Ariza help?
Well, some of the signs I think might be avoiding conversations about money, right? You withdraw from social interactions. I was a social butterfly out on the scene every weekend or so, and, all of a sudden I'm not there. You're not seeing me at all. Maybe something's going on, and that could be directly related to money. Maybe I just don't have the extra cash to spend. But of course, if you have shame about the situation, that's maybe something that propels, shall we say, maybe depression or the bad thoughts. And again, exactly, feeling like you can't speak to anyone about it. That loneliness could add to the pressure of already not having the cash.
Sometimes some folks would tell you the absence of finance makes you feel inferior. Like when you look at your peers and you see the lifestyle that they're accommodating and so forth, and you're knowing to yourself that, I can't match that. I can't match that. It could lead, if you're not mentally strong.
Well, there's another saying that comparison is a thief of joy. So
could you repeat that?
Comparison
is a thief of joy.
Okay. So if you're constantly, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't have standards, but if you're always going to try and measure yourself up to X, Y, or Z, it's going to be a hard one. You have to know what it is that you want and measure your success by what makes you happy. What is successful for me is not necessarily the same thing that brings you joy or makes you feel successful. Right. So we have to figure out what it is that makes us, I think, happy, and that might include, your wealth, how much money you have. I know people who give from a space of, they always seem to have something. Our parents used to do this. They could always feed whoever was going by, but they weren't rich.
No, they had a way of making it stretch.
Exactly. The whole neighborhood could come and have a meal, and everyone was happy.
I remember my grandmother always said, always put an extra cup of rice in the pot.
Right. Exactly. Yes, just in case someone passes by. Exactly.
And when she says that, I am hoping, put it, but I hope nobody passes.
Yeah, because you want the extra. But as a community, we need to, I would say, break that stigma. You know, Ariza is about people helping people. So just as we'd encourage someone to see a doctor if they had chest pains, then we should encourage conversations about money and mental health, and, you know, without judgment, safe spaces.
Really, let's get a bit practical now, right? If someone is struggling financially and it's affecting their mental health, what steps can they take right now?
Right now. I love this because this is the reinforcement that we've had over all the months of us coming in here. So, you know, again, it's the small but realistic budget, right? Even writing down the income and expenses, it provides clarity. So a small but realistic budget. Prioritize essentials, needs versus wants, food, shelter, utilities, health, even. So we're talking about mental health, and most people don't kind of see it. You know, if you have a wound, that's visible, but mental health is something else. So I'm walking around happy and smiling, and everybody thinks all is well.
Are you talking about me now?
But I'm completely stressed out, right? So prioritize those things. Therapy is something that I've been hearing a lot more of recently. It's becoming normalized. We need to talk.
Well, I'm happy that we're having that particular conversation, because coming up next, my next guest are Dr. Lowe and my good friend Alan Daniel, who is a specialist, and I'm happy that Alan is here, because I remembered there was a period in my life where I was going through, and Alan was a shoulder I could have cried on, and I could have called and we talked. So it all ties in well. Someone wants to get in on the conversation. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Well, good morning, and forgive the feedback there, me of all people causing that, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning, Tonton.
Yes, I just wanted to find out, actually, and in fact, as a potential discouragement to perhaps those who are thinking of suicide, as far as this lovely young lady knows, is there anything in our financial laws in Grenada that if a person has died by suicide, that it affects what they have left behind for others, let's say in a will or something like that? So you know that, you know, a man has decided to make such a decision to end his own life, but that's on the one hand. On the other hand, if he does it that way, it's going to affect how his savings with an entity like Ariza are dispensed. Like they'd be lessened or something like that. I know it is a legally based question, but with this young lady in finance through Ariza, do you know of any such thing that would therefore tend to help to discourage such a person who is considering suicide?
Okay. I thanks, Tonton. I get the gist. He's wondering if we can use the financial institutions as a deterrent, stating that if you've got a huge sum of money and you're intending to commit suicide, your knowledge of the fact that the monies that you have could be confiscated or so, it might be a deterrent.
Well, you know, I don't know of any such existing regulation. I think perhaps when you have life insurance, they have certain clauses in there that should deter from that kind of action. But in terms of your savings, then no. But I'm certainly happy to go back in and make sure, you know, check what's in our bylaws and so on, how savings are governed. But to my knowledge, no.
Yeah. From my exposure in finance as well, the monies that you have left, once it covers your indebtedness to the institution and so forth, then it just goes on to posterity.
Yeah, to whoever your next of kin is listed as,
Okay. All right, now, as we do the wrap, all right, we can't forget the fact that today is being observed as Suicide Prevention Awareness Day. I hope I coined it right. Now, how do you see financial institutions being a part of this broader malady, if you want to refer to it?
Yes, like I say, most unfortunate. Well, you know, as financial institutions, we are not mental health professionals, but we interact with people. I think I would call this some of the most stressful moments. Applying for loans, paying off debt, planning for retirement. You know, those are big moments in anybody's life. So it puts us within financial institutions, certainly us at Ariza, in a position to act with compassion, provide guidance, and provide people to the right resources, right? Most importantly, I think, is that we want people to know that money struggles are common. You're not alone. A lot of us think it's only us.
As my manager told me once, I was talking and saying, I'm overwhelmed, Janet.
Yes.
She said, you're not special. Don't feel special.
Yes. Right, exactly. You're not the only one. And this is why, again, we go back to talk to someone, share. Of course, like I say, safe, confidential spaces are essential. But, you know, money struggles are not just yours alone. So for anyone who are having those challenges, we kind of say reach out to a trusted person, have the conversation, or again, if there's a crisis hotline, certainly for suicide, then just remember that financial challenges don't define you, and there is hope financially and emotionally. So that's how we are here as in terms of contributing to the effort and the conversation.
And you can always reach out to Ariza.
Absolutely.
And there's always someone there willing to talk and point you in the right direction to get an amicable solution to whatever the financial problems that you're having.
We're a community of people helping people. We live that.
Thank you, Raylene. As always, it's always a pleasure.
Likewise.
Precise and concise to the spot, as always. We look forward to another engagement next week.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to be here.
Always. Folks, that's it for this Ariza Money Wise program. We take a break. When we come back, we have more conversation. Don't you go anywhere.
The Credit Union. Today's edition of MoneyWise was made possible by Ariza Credit Union.
Do you have multiple loan payments? Is your debt weighing you down? Ariza has the solution. Simplify your loan with Ariza's Simplify Loan promotion. Now you can combine all your payments into one easy, manageable loan. Enjoy lower interest rates, flexible repayment terms, and more cash in hand for what truly matters. Less stress, more freedom. Live comfortably while reaching your financial goals. Ariza helps you simplify your life because you deserve financial freedom. Apply now. Visit any Ariza branch or WhatsApp us at 423-4987.
Mobility, a common theme woven into the very fabric of human history. From ancient wanderers to modern explorers, our instinct to move, to seek something greater, and to grow has always driven us forward. Imagine a journey into pathways of boundless opportunities and endless possibilities. A collective future where the vibrant rhythms of the Caribbean, rich culture, and welcoming community create unforgettable experiences. Beyond citizenship by investment, we believe in our collective investment of time, resources, and energy that fosters innovation, creates jobs, and enriches lives, driving the growth of an entire nation. The Investment Migration Agency Grenada boasts over a decade of exceptional service and remains committed to guiding you toward global mobility and economic freedom through investment. Your journey becomes our shared story of progress and prosperity. This is an invitation to be part of something greater, something enduring. Begin your journey at imagrenada.gd. IMA Grenada. Unlock the possibilities.
served Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire and accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Sudden Electrical, best value. Expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
Stumps ready? The biggest party in sports is back. It's Republic Bank CPL 2025. Bowls off August 14th to September 21st. 34 matches, 6 teams, 6 nations. Your Caribbean cricket frenzy. From big sixes to deadly yorkers, catch every boundary, every wicket, every moment. Live on GBN TV and Classic Radio. This is not just cricket. This is CPL 2025. Don't miss a ball.
GBN's broadcast of CPL 2025 is made possible by Republic Bank, Hubbards, Grenlec, Echo Blue Limited, Demerara Mutual Life, Answer Coatings, and Flow.
Welcome back to the conversation. It's 20 minutes on to 8 o'clock, and I can tell you from the onset that we have an extended version of it because I still have Dr. Lowe and Miss Alan Daniel to come on to put the icing on the cake. Last week I had with me the British High Commissioner here, representative here in Grenada, talking about the Chevening Scholarship, and we was supposed to have this young lady with us, but as she was just saying, she got mixed up with the date. So those of you who are contemplating or considering applying for the scholarship, I hope you are doing it and getting all your documents and writing your essays and so forth. But this morning I'm joined by Michelle Alexander. She is a beneficiary of the Chevening Scholarship, and she just wants to share her experiences with you so it gives you a sort of premonition as to what it's like. Morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Michelle said to me, I was by you before in a different capacity. So happy to have you back, Mish. It's always a pleasure. Okay, so you, as we said, you are a beneficiary from the Chevening Scholarship. What was your area of studies?
So my area of study was innovation, creativity, and leadership with the City University of London.
Okay, wow. Walk us through your application process and then your transitioning to London and so forth. What was it like?
So I was told about the Chevening Scholarship by Miss Kojo because I got a message that said, Michelle, I think you should apply for Chevening because you're a good applicant. So I did apply. Mind you, I had masters before, so I wasn't really too keen, but I applied. It was Yes. So to apply for the scholarship, you have to have leadership background. You have to be very active in your community and show this sort of characteristic or traits. So I did apply with my essays. I made it into the semi-final round. When I made it to the semi-final round, I linked with like-minded individuals. So there were persons, we had a group chat with persons from Africa, right around the world, and we were practicing the questions, because with Chevening you have over 75,000 applicants and they're only choosing like 1,000 something, 2%. So I was selected as part of the 2%. Initially, I wanted to study adult education because I'm the founder of Bridge, where we create second chance opportunities for adults who weren't able to complete their primary, secondary, and tertiary level education. Okay. But then I saw innovation, creativity, and leadership, and I was like, okay, that sounds more of a plan. If I do that, I might be a greater asset as it relates not just to Bridge, but also in my professional and personal life. So I did get the scholarship. I went to England. It was my first time going to England, so I had to adjust. But we were given a stipend. We were told what to expect, and it was really supportive. Like the whole team was supportive from the start to the end of the program. I had some challenges in terms of I didn't finish when I was expected to, because my dissertation had to do with how innovation and creativity can be used to decrease crime and violence in Grenada. And around that time, burial striked. So the school decided, you know what, Michelle, that is a stressful period. We're going to give you an extra 6 months to complete your dissertation. But I did complete it, and I don't think Chevening is one of the best scholarship opportunity anyone can get.
As it relates to, as you said, acclimatization, okay, moving from one culture to the next, was there any sort of buffering where people were there to get you settled in and make you as comfy as possible?
Yes, so we got all the support that was needed. We were told what apps to download, places to avoid, what to and what not to do. So they supported us throughout. At no point in the journey I felt like I was alone, because there were always someone you could have sent a text to, someone you could have called. So it was support from the beginning to the end.
And as you said, prior to the start of the actual course itself, you were networking with people all from Africa and so forth. Now that you've completed the course of studies, are you still in this sort of network?
Yes, so I am still in a network with people from Africa as well, and those of us that went from the Caribbean, we're still very much in contact in terms of networking, supporting each other, throwing out ideas here and there. Yeah.
And as it relates to the benefits that are derived from your course of studies, how are you implementing what you've learned in making this little rock, the Spice Isle, as we love to call it, a better place?
Right. I'm doing that on many different levels. At Bridge, as it relates to the innovation and creativity part, I'm able to come up with creative ways to meet our students. As I said, these are adults who are out of the school system for a very long time, and they're given 9 months to write CXC or CAPE. And based on our results, what we're doing, it's really working, and a lot of that had to do with the scholarship. I'm also the human resource manager at Gravel and Concrete. So as it relates to change management, as it relates to inclusion and, using creativity in that way, I'm able to implement all that I was taught on that scholarship. So that scholarship really made me a better individual, a better worker, and also a better CEO, because I work with Bridge.
Okay.
So it has helped me on all levels.
So for people out there who are listening and are intent on applying, what can you share with them? What can you advise them? How should they proceed? How should they embrace the opportunity?
So Chevening is a leadership scholarship. If it's something you want to pursue, I would say be more active in your community network, because the essays that we had to write on was on networking, on leadership, and how you was going to use the opportunity to make a difference in Grenada. So I would say do a lot of things, volunteer, do things that would build your leadership capacity so that when you apply, you can be shortlisted.
Okay. Well, I'm so happy to hear you sharing with us this morning, and I'm certain that the folks from the British High Commission, Mr. Clark and his team, they are listening and looking at us now, and they are proud. And I really want Grenadians in particular. I mean, I think 170 something countries participate in 173 countries participate in that scholarship program. But I'm going to be biased here. I wish only Grenadians could get through, because the transformative process that goes through. I mean, I listen to you talk now, and I could literally hear Chevening in you. That's a Chevening graduate. So advise, encourage somebody out there to apply and give it the best shot.
Okay, so I would say apply. You could also reach out. We have a Chevening alumni group. If you need assistance in terms of reviewing your essay, any encouragement, feel free to reach out. And again, let me reiterate, volunteer and show that you have some sort of leadership skills, and whatever it is you're doing is impacting, because Chevening need leaders that would make a difference in their community. So if you're passionate about leadership and you're passionate about making a difference in your community, then Chevening is for you.
Michelle Alexander, thank you very much for sharing with us. Bring back my love to John T. and the rest of your team at Gravel and Concrete, and keep flying the flag of Chevening high.
Most definitely.
All right. Folks, that's it. I've been speaking with Michelle Alexander, a beneficiary of the Chevening Scholarship Program. And again, remember, it's time to start applying, make your application, and give it your best shot. It's life transforming, and it could be a big thing for us all here in Grenada. We take a commercial break. When we come back, I've got Dr. Lowe and Ms. Allen Daniel as we look at suicide awareness. We'll be back after this. Don't you go anywhere.
Grenada, get ready to cheer for Kirani, Anderson, Lyndon and others as they join over 2,000 athletes from around the world in Tokyo, Japan for the 2025 World Athletic Championship. From September 13th to 21st, GBN Television goes live from the Japan National Stadium, bringing you exciting coverage of every race, every throw, every jump as the athletes vie for track and field supremacy. Remember the dates: September 13th to 21st, the 2025 World Athletic Championship, Tokyo, Japan, live on GBN Television 7 and 11. Compliments: Grenada Cooperative Bank, Hubbard's, Grenlec, and the National Lotteries Authority.
On Sunday, November the 9th from 5 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center, Legends Promotion presents the 19th Annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert featuring the best of Grenada, along with two special guest artists. This edition promises to be extra special. Get ready, Grenada, to be blown with surprises at the 19th Annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert, Sunday, November the 9th, 5 p.m. Grenada Trade Center. Stay tuned to GBN for more. Stumps ready? The biggest party in sports is back. It's Republic Bank CPL 2025. Bowls off August 14th to September 21st. 34 matches, 6 teams, 6 nations. Your Caribbean cricket frenzy. From big sixes to deadly yorkers, catch every boundary, every wicket, every moment. Live on GBN TV and Classic Radio. This is not just cricket. This is CPL 2025. Don't miss a ball.
GBN's broadcast of CPL 2025 is made possible by Republic Bank, Hubbard's, Grenlec, Echo Blue Limited, Demerara Mutual Life, Answer Coatings, and Flow.
Just like a freestyle, the life blood flowing mile by mile. It's legacy, a beat that don't stop like Bob Marley said. One love on top, the sewage water out of sight, but it's always wrong, don't lose the light. From factories and wells so deep, corals, mangroves and fish they weep. Grey water for the garden, keep it green. Save the cash and the earth gets clean. We used to water with a mindful mind. It's out of sight but never far behind. In nature, the answers always flow. Like water running pure, the cycle grows. It renews itself, same drop, same beat. It's all good, man, you got the heat. Water flow. No clean water, no pipes they grow. Protect our water, protect our future.
Time to go.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. The conversation continues. It's 7 minutes on to 8 o'clock. As I promised you, it's going to be a lengthy one this morning. And today's a very significant day. It's World Suicide Prevention Day. And to discourse on that, we already had Ms. Aurelian Lazarus looking at how financial pressure can create that sort of thought patterns. But to add a more medical approach to it this morning, I'm joined by Dr. Keisha Lowe and a former social worker. She says that's all she wants, but she's got so much more behind her name. But she's just being like that this morning. Miss Arlene Daniel, I know she's touched the lives of many in the past, including mine. So, ladies, thank you for joining us this morning, and we look forward to a very healthy discourse.
Thank you.
Thank you, Innocent.
Nice. I like you call me Innocent. That's nice. Okay, today the observance of World Suicide Awareness or Prevention Day. I had my good church friend Josh Hector last night on we attend the same church.
Okay.
Yeah. And 60 suicides in the last 20 years or 10 years?
10 years.
10 years. Yeah. That's a lot for
2013 to 2023. 60 suicides.
That's a lot. How serious a problem is suicide in Grenada? We're going to zero in on Grenada first, and then we're going to generalize it.
Well, I mean,
a population of 110,000, approximately thereabout. 60 suicides in 10 years is a lot.
Mm-hmm. And there was a bump in 2020 and 2021, because on average it's about 4 or 5 a year, but in 2020 there was 8, and in 2021 there was 11. COVID, yeah. Social isolation, etc.
Yeah, there are folks. I mean, a lot of people didn't really understand the intrinsic impact of COVID. Some people they were stressed because they lost their sources of income. Some people who are not accustomed to staying home. I mean, luckily I was a farmer at the time, so I had my pass to move around, so I was able to move around. But I don't know how I would have coped if I was locked away, like some people. So causes? What are some of the underlying causes? What would cause someone, knowing what life is and the teachings that we've got, that when you're dead,
there is an afterlife?
There's an afterlife,
yes.
But then you don't socialize when you're dead. We ain't know yet, except when we go up, when the pearly gates are open, as they say, and so forth, and one happy family and everything like that. But death to me is isolation. No matter what I am going through, I appreciate life so much that I live hoping and praying that, okay, today is troublesome, it's bothersome, it's heavy, it's hard, but I look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there are some folks who think, I cannot go another day, I want to end it here. Why?
The pain is just so intense.
The pain definitely is intense, and in many cases, if you look at it, persons sometimes would have had underlying depression. So we find persons who are, when we investigate persons who are suicidal or parasuicide, who have attempted, because I think I would also like to include that we have the persons who actually committed suicide. But the population I am more interested in is the persons who are parasuicide, which is, and increasingly young persons are in that group. The persons who are slashing themselves because it is becoming a little bit more trendy. The persons who are contemplating suicide because of any number of reasons. But persons who are at risk are persons who are generally depressed, or sometimes persons with personality disorders. So we have to look at, you ask why. Our question generally when we meet persons who are attempted to commit suicide is, why now? Because for some persons it is a response to an intense trigger. For example, a relationship that somebody who had invested a lot in, and for women especially, it's a very tumultuous breakup. They may attempt suicide, and then when you ask why, it's because they thought that they can't go on without the love of this person. For other persons, it is an accumulation of several triggers, so that a lot of triggers building up over time can also put persons in that. And for some people, it goes way back into childhood, so that the thoughts of death and dying are with a lot of persons in the community. And that is why I would like to appeal to persons whose mindset is death and dying. Lord, and I think you'll talk about Calypso, so let's talk about Lord, I can't take it no more. Right. If this is your mindset and you continue to feed it over time, then the trigger may come. So let me hush and for now.
The medical perspective, from medicine, neurology and all this sort of thing, what does the trigger do?
Well, I think what Ms. Daniel said is that it is an accumulation of things, and there's a feeling of just entrapment and just hopelessness. And the people, they feel isolated, they don't have the social support, there's a stigma. So the whole theme for this year's World Suicide Prevention Day is changing the narrative. There's a lot of stigma and shame about mental health, and this is what the organization is trying to do, is to raise awareness and to open up, so that people don't feel the shame and they don't feel that they can't reach out and get help. People shoo and they talk and they tebe about people, but are they lending a helping hand? Are they reaching out? In a sense, you've been looking so sad lately. What's going on? Is everything okay?
No.
How can I help? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really understand it, but there go I. For the grace of God, that could be me. That could be my child. It could be my neighbor. We're afraid. We have this unknown kind of feeling about mental health, and I think people feel shame and they don't reach out, and when they feel hopeless, then they take that final step.
Well, whereas today is about suicide, but the whole embodiment of it is mental wellness.
Exactly. Mental health and awareness, and not being afraid to reach out. And there are some resources. I did some research. There are some resources, some organizations in Grenada where you can reach out. you know.
As a matter of fact, I think the current government is very proactive in that they've established an entire ministry towards mental health. That means it is on a priority list, and that augurs well for our nation.
If we're willing to take advantage of it, there's still that whole stigma about mental health and wellness.
And it also has a gender issue with it, because if you look at suicide rates worldwide, more men than women commit suicide.
Really?
Yes.
What?
Significantly more. It's more like 1/3 to 1/4 women to men committing suicide as against women. And not just that, men tend to use more lethal methods.
That's right.
Men tend to shoot themselves or hang themselves. I noticed when we look at our statistics in Grenada, the preferred method is a cement rope. And our women have gone into it. But if you look at the para-suicide rates, you would notice that women tend to more overdose or cut in areas and they slash their wrists, or in some cases we have our young people slashing in areas where it can't be seen. So that the conversation has to be, what is it going on in your life at present that you find it difficult to talk about? Because one young lady recently that I encountered talked about the pleasure it feels when, yes, it is sick, it is sad, but the fact that you now take control on ending your life, because this is something you have control about. And the issue really is at the bottom of it is the sense of helplessness and hopelessness. So that by taking that helplessness, that feeling of being helpless away by doing something to yourself, it's not necessarily that sense of power that it gives.
Wow.
It is one of the more difficult things to understand why somebody would do that. And there is another side to it, is that persons who are suicidal, especially males, may also be homicidal, because they either take it out on themselves or they take it out on others. And if you look at Trinidad statistics, for example, suicide and homicide go together, because you kill the family and then kill yourself. So we are looking at a much wider, it is not just a stigma, but one of the biggest stigmas I would like to flag is the whole issue of the shame of failure. And it is embedded in all of our cultures that if you fail, then you should be ashamed of yourself because you have not lived up to your expectations, that of your family or that of the community.
Wow.
And that is the reason why, if we want to look at the stigma, we have to look at how it is we treat failure. And it is from our small children coming up. So that right now, the pressure of the curriculum to cause children to have to succeed and to ignore the rest of their social lives, it is also putting our population at risk. Our CPA, with all of those SBAs and all of those things, in many cases, is triggering some of the pressures on children, whereas when I did common entrance, you had a little extra lessons and you played and you did everything else.
Yeah, it's so true.
You did scholarship.
I did scholarship.
I remember in my time, man, thank God for multiple choice.
Yes.
I just colored A, B, C, A in this one, B in this one, and so on.
Mini, miny, mo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that those are some of the things, and even so, how our parents react to children who are not doing well, and how the stigma of reaching out for help, because it is, you shame the family. And that is one of the things that as a person who would have worked with many persons who have attempted suicide, is that please understand that suicide is not just about your failure, but it is a individual, family, and community effort, so that when a person attempts suicide or is suicidal, the rest of the family is blamed for it.
Yeah.
So that the person you hope would feel sorry if you commit suicide, it's not just them. You're talking about a wider network, your colleagues, everybody now has to examine themselves. What did I do to cause this person to want to make such a permanent decision on a temporary problem?
Yeah.
But now, this conversation opens up a whole big, not a can, but a whole container of worms. Because how our society is structured now, it's pressure.
Yes. Some students doing 15 CXC. I mean, that's not necessary.
Yeah, craziness.
All the pressure, and then they can't have a social life. Then they're busy doing SBAs, and it's too much.
Even
and patients present. Sometimes they come to my office. They have migraines, they have belly ache, all kind of thing.
Anxiety,
and it has to do with somatic complaints that they have the stress, and it's just coming out physically. And even for adults, they'll come. They've seen 3-4 doctors for pains that don't even make anatomical sense. And then I start to ask questions, and then I'll do a screen for anxiety and depression, and you should see some of the results I get. And these people need help, and you talk to them and say, listen, I understand you have a headache or bellyache, whatever. It's real, but the cause is not physical. The cause is emotional. You need counseling, you need support, and sometimes the tears come and they start to feel better, but they have to take the next step of getting counseling and things like that.
And one of the challenges we have is persons following up on counseling. We want to treat counseling as we do with medicine.
Yes.
You take a stat dose, and after that, if you feel better, then you walk away from it. Whereas you have just scratched the surface in terms of identifying what the stressors are. But if you have done nothing to remove them, and in many cases, it has to do with forgiving self and others. And that takes a process of being vulnerable, which for many of us translate emotionally to being a failure.
Yeah, and weak.
Yes.
Yeah. Men, I'm happy that you raised that. You heightened my awareness with this. I didn't realize that men was trending more. Men were trending more as it relates to suicide. Now, why would a man, a real Zakar man, would find solutions to his problems? Why are men? What
men are supposed to be strong. They're not supposed to be weak and reach out and admit that they have problems. It's easier to just end it.
That's
that's
how the man
means,
think.
like the gun and the hanging and all that. It's so permanent.
Wow.
I mean, there is a case when I was doing my research of this young guy who jumped off a bridge, and halfway down he's like, oh my God, I don't want to die, save me. He lived a lot of injuries, but he said in that couple seconds before he hit the water, he realized that this was a mistake. So how do you, can you just imagine you're in a house with the rope, and then you kick the chair, and halfway through now you're like, Jesus Christ, I don't want this to happen. It's too late.
It's like
scary.
It's like the guy that wanted to, life was so sad and hard for him that he went to commit suicide with a rope, but forgot a knife in his pocket, and when the pressure thing, he cut the rope, and he said, Lord, if I didn't have the knife, I would die.
That's it.
Death is not a nice thing.
It is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And for the most persons I have worked with in my former life as a social worker, it just means reframing the problem. Okay, right now you're financially bankrupt. Okay.
Who told you that?
Okay, let's say that's the problem. You're financially bankrupt. However, you would have had coping skills. And that's one of the things we look at in terms of treatment. You had coping skills to be able to amass money. You had a wide social network. You had influence. You can use these very things that put you into prominence before to do it again. Because not because you're down to minus whatever amount means that this is the end of it. So it is, in many cases when we look into it, it is reframing what the problem is. And if you thought that your identity was tied into how many people who knew you, the question really you have to ask is, do they really know you? And is it who you really are? Because if you look at the life stories of many of the persons that we idolize, especially in the US with their glamorous lifestyles and their $1 million lives, many of them, if you have a conversation with them, will tell you that it is a significant circle. It's who matters. We are going after, and you made a comment earlier about people have the perception that Grenadians have money. My concern for a lot of us right now who are recuperating from the amount we spent over the last month is that why are we doing this? Why are we, and I would like to put in one of my pet peeves because I live in Grenada and I saw the parade, especially with our women. There were 80% women and a few men and the men in those bands, right? And then the men who attended these things as observers had a significant other on their side. So ladies, why are we doing this? Why are we putting ourselves into that social pressure to spend that inordinate amount of money in the hot sun? I don't understand it really. Why? Because it to me it is about the whole issue of identity, who you are and what makes you who you are.
But on the contrary, there are some folks who would say the indulgence and involvement in carnival is how they let off steam.
My question is, can you afford it? That's all.
That's the underlying question there. But it is critically important that as a people, and we have to look at it holistically from the children coming up, because we are seeing, as you know, I taught for a number of years, and when you listen to some of the issues that children have, I don't know if it was a God-given gift, but sometimes on mornings when I do my assessment, I could identify a child that has a different temperament today, and I would say, what's going on here? And then they would say, well, so I did not know for breakfast this morning, and things. These little things
are big things.
To us, they're little things. Oh, here, go get some breakfast. But for the child, he's thinking, my parents...
I'm not a priority.
Yeah.
And for those, for example, because our statistics continue to be the same, that 75% of children, especially firstborns, are born out of wedlock. And in many cases, by the time they are 5-10, there is another gentleman in their lives, and there is a conflict between the two men, and so on and so on and so forth. So we have all of these identity issues that have been spawned from the time a child is born. And the whole idea that men, I am happy to see more and more men saying, I want to be involved in my child's life. And it is a critical. Women provide love, men provide structure and direction in a child's life. So I am appealing to all of our men, please understand that your role is critical. It's not just about providing maintenance. It is about providing direction,
emotional support,
direction for a child's life.
All right. Now, we could talk about that for the whole week. All right. And as a matter of fact, it's a conversation that I would try my best to build into my programming, that because it is mental health is an issue in Grenada. There are a number, as you rightfully say, a lot of people walking around with big broad smiles on their faces. But when they're in their zone by themselves, the thoughts do come.
Yeah.
And some of those thoughts are intrusive. And when those thoughts become intrusive, it is time for you to open up and find help.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Reach out, because if it is that you have difficulty sleeping, you have difficulty eating or binge eating, the sudden weight loss or weight gain, the tears, especially when you're by yourself, the thoughts of ending it all, the thoughts of helplessness and hopelessness. And also, if you have been diagnosed that you are depressed, and I'm not talking about somebody necessarily who would have just had a loss. And let me just pause and say, it is normal if you just had a major loss to go through a grieving process, and we generally give you about 3 months. But if after the 3 months you are still crying every time you think about that person or thinking about that situation, you are depressed and you need help. Okay. Don't be afraid of the medical intervention and all of the other interventions. And going to I am a believer. So going for help once, and when you are told, listen, you need more, don't run from it, because it takes time to get to that position. And don't think that one tablet or one counseling session is going to solve a problem. If it is a marital issue, for example, you would have had 5, 6, how many years of this issues, on unspoken issues or unresolved issues going on. What makes you think that if you sit down with a counselor for one session that you are going to solve it? You have to learn new ways of dealing with it, and this takes practice.
It's relearning, right?
It is relearning, and relearning. As former teacher, you understand you have to. That's the reason why you have to set the tables every morning.
Yeah, you have to relearn it.
You have to relearn it.
And sometimes you have to unlearn too, huh?
Definitely. You have to reprogram how you respond, so that the whole issue of mental health is not just like many of us would think, oh, well, if you think happy thoughts, what happened if the other things are facing you? Also, there are some critical decisions that we need to make as part of that process. If your trigger is a particular relationship, you may need to rethink it. The in and out, the sorries and the make back, and then you go again, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And all of our views on who is good and who is not. And as you said, it is a whole gamut of situations that we need to unpack piece by piece. And for those who are thinking, you need to understand that it takes time and patience to walk through the issues. And if you want help, please be prepared to be vulnerable, open, and honest.
And going through that vulnerability stage, it's the lead up to you getting your strength. Yeah, you have to be broken in order to be made whole.
Yes.
Wow. But it's this society. What we're trying to do is really open up and get the society, everyone to realize that we're all vulnerable, and to be closed-minded about it, or to be afraid is where the issue comes, because people are afraid of what everyone else is going to think. Yeah. And that's where the problem comes.
The societal pressure. Someone wants to join in on the conversation. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Well, that's someone, Gordon. By the time the end of this day comes, you are not going to like me as a media colleague, because I'm going to keep coming in.
I hope
on
so.
This, well,
make my day.
Well, just I want to ask a question, basically, of these ladies. As a lifelong epileptic myself, and I'm talking 57 years of having had temporal lobe epilepsy, and that is one of the conditions that you wrestle with depression with. And interestingly enough, some of the medications that you take, two of the medications I'm on, and I'm not blaming the medical fraternity, they warn you that should you get any tendencies toward feeling that you want to harm yourself, and that's a side effect of those medications, which I'm not going to name, then tell your neurologist, your specialist, immediately. So there are different situations out there and everything to be dealt with. Temporal lobe epilepsy, it can have a tendency to intensify with age. And yes, I have had to make more and more adjustments myself. But there are people who are at least 5 times as worse than I am and are dealing with a lot more. And they have to deal with it with a lot less resources. So the big question here, based on the foundation I've laid there, how happy are you ladies with the resources that we have in Grenada, especially the specialists, the neurologists, whoever else it may need, the psychologists, etc., and that's on a scale of 1 to 10. Gordon will tell you that's a favorite way of my putting it. 10 being, you are very pleased with it. 1, wow, Grenada needs to go around the block and come back again. So how happy are you with Grenada's setup? And based on your answer, if it's on the unhappy side, what do you think should be done? Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Tonton. Put you ladies on the spot.
I would say I would give us about a 3, simply because there are support structures in place. However, in terms of numbers, we have not begun to scratch the real issues. The reason I say so is that we tend to be seeing persons who are at the crisis level. But the persons who are pre-crisis, there are not enough support structures in place for that. That's one. Two, healthcare practitioners, and I would want to widen that, is not just to the qualified psychologists and so on and so forth. We need to strengthen at the next level the community support, the pastors, the leaders, the teachers, and so on. These very often are the first responders and the persons who would identify persons who are at risk or are actually experiencing difficulties. The training needs to take place. But I also want to say for our care providers as well, there is not enough training and support for them as well. Because, for example, police officers, nurses, and doctors are at high risk, social workers, for some of these very problems because of the secondhand trauma.
Yeah.
So one of the things I would like to point out here is that we are not immune to these problems.
Well, not just immune, but it puts you
at risk.
It puts you in a double fold, because you having to deal with someone that has the problems, and you have your problems on your own, and you're seeing someone going through it, and you have to deal with it. It sort of amplifies it.
In a way, it does. But sometimes it also brings clarity. Because as you advise the person, you also have to live by your own advice.
You're taking the advice that you're giving them.
Yes, definitely.
Ah, man, life is beautiful.
It is.
Life is beautiful. There's always, as Raylene would always say, life is really lifing. Let me ask this. Would you say life is an easy process?
It depends on how you look at it, You see, Solomon said there is nothing new under the sun. And there is no problem that you and I face that has not happened to the generations before. The face of it is different. But I would also like to say that faith also has a big role to play. And I think a lot of people think that because you talk about faith is that, what about and the preaching and so on and so on. Let me say this, that it gives direction and hope. When you know that there is a Father who loves you, that you can rely on and that you can cry out to, who provides and answers prayer. So spirituality is extremely important.
What's about the people who are atheists?
Many of them believe that there is something, or cosmic forces, whatever else out there, that may help or retard the bad. Many people say they are atheists until there is a crisis. My brother likes to give his favorite one. He was on the plane with an atheist, and when the plane dropped about one of those small planes going up the islands, and when the plane dropped about 10 feet, he bought, oh God!
Yeah.
So it is nice to live with, but not necessarily to die by.
Right.
I was reflecting on the question that he asked, and one of the things in my practice, in terms of they have a psychological support unit through the Ministry of Social Services, and they've been very helpful and responsive to my referrals of patients who need help. And then there is also the child psychiatric doctor and program at the General Hospital, because a lot of people have a stigma about Monge. So that for the children, because people don't realize, parents don't realize that children can get depressed and anxious too. It's not just adults.
Life is pressurized. Let's accommodate another call. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Oh yes. Good morning, doctor.
Welcome.
How are you?
Dr. Lowe, you're talking to, right?
I'm talking to this doctor.
Okay.
And good morning to Dr. Lowe and the other lady there. So good morning to your guest. Let me say this thing. I am picking up from medical scientists and experts that has a lot to do with epilepsy, and what is surfacing here is iodine. Iodine is suggested to be one of the treatment that could aid in epilepsy. Is that a regime that we use in our situation in Grenada? Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
I'm sorry, but I'm here to talk about World Suicide Prevention Day, not epilepsy and not iodine. So unfortunately, I really can't say.
Okay.
You know, I think we need to focus on the issue here is that people are dying. Every 40 seconds, someone in the world dies by suicide. 720,000 people annually die by suicide. 60 in Grenada over 10 years is too much. One suicide is too much. Okay. So we need to focus on trying to, you know, build awareness about suicide, learning the signs, as Ms. Daniel said, in terms of mood changes, withdrawal, poor grades in kids, anxiety, insomnia, not being able to sleep, or hypersomnia where you're sleeping all the time. Eating too much, nightmares, eating too much or not eating. You know, there are all these signs that you may see in a neighbor, a friend, a churchgoer, whoever, and it's your responsibility as a fellow human being to try and reach out. Sometimes just a kind word makes all the difference.
Let's take this other call. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, and good morning to your two guests. First of all, I want to say that we need to really relook how we are doing life. We are promoting consumerism over citizenry, over community engagement. We are telling people, get this and get that and you'll be happy. Get this loan, get this thing. And people are buying into that. We need to balance that in helping people to have more engagement, more connections with either the families, with communities or so. And we don't have that at the moment. We have gone straight to the road of the U.S. and so on. And then we need to ask ourselves questions. Trauma. We have gone through different things, including from slavery. We have had revolution. We have had hurricanes. How are we dealing with those things? Are we, considering that in terms of the long-term impact on it? And then, of course, diet has a way. So we need to, again, manage the kind of thing we have people consume. I could go on and on, but I think the key is we need to curtail this consumerism, individualism thing, and to create more cooperative, communal stuff where people would feel comfortable to engage one another. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very powerful words. I agree.
Well said.
Yeah. Couldn't as that famous author wrote, truer words have never been spoken.
Right.
Yeah.
That community spirit and that responsibility, like I was saying, to reach out if you see somebody, you know, instead of shying away and being afraid, you know, and then how the journal, not really in Grenada, but in many places, situations, you have the media being irresponsible, putting it on the front page. I still remember my friend ask it. They had the thing on the front page with the rope, everything, and you know there's such a thing as copycat suicides too. Copycat suicides can happen.
Yeah,
it often does.
As we wrap, you see, it's already 8:28. You know, but that's fine. I will not be fired for that. It's a meaningful, but it's a conversation that we have to be talking about consistently.
Yes.
And I will find ways to incorporate this into my programming because these are the sort of meaningful conversations that we want to have. What are some of the takeaways you want to leave with my audience this morning?
One thing I need to say is that Sweetwater Foundation has a suicide hotline. It's 407-4445, 407-4445, and you can text them on WhatsApp, you can text, you can call, and that's something that people don't know about.
Okay.
So Sweetwater Foundation.
Sweetwater Foundation. Where is that based?
407-4445. Dr. Hazel Dabrio.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know they were down in Grenada at one point. I'm not sure if they're still there, but the number is working, 407-4445, and people can reach out. That's one way. They can also go to any ministry of the Ministry of Social Services at the ministry, and I think they even have different...
Yes, they are district offices.
District offices that they can go to. Anybody who needs psychological help, who doesn't have the funds, these things are free and available. So please don't be afraid to reach out if you or somebody you know needs help. It's available.
Whether we want to believe it or not, even as we speak now, there are persons in Grenada who are contemplating suicide today.
Yes.
Deter them.
The problem that you feel, the problem that you are thinking that is insurmountable, it's not. Problems are part of life. And the problem that you are facing now, you're not the first, and even if you pass on, there will be others who would face the same thing. Mm-hmm. You would have had successes in your life to this point that you can draw on to help you through this. Next, you are not alone. It is nothing to be ashamed of, because depression is not just sad feelings. It is a change in your chemical balance in your body and may require medication. And that's where the psychiatric services that many persons are running from, it's helpful. Because outside of that, there are lots of people in the States, at least in the US, where they have developed a lot more. A lot of persons, a significant portion of the population is on antidepressants. It is one way of dealing with the problem, the medication, but medication without dealing with the problems, all you do is suppress it. Yeah. So that dying does not solve the problem, and in most cases, you create a lot more. The question you asked about the finances, I remember looking at my loan agreement years ago in Scotia. If you die by suicide, your loan is active. Your relatives may be required to pay it. If you die by murder, then the insurance companies do. You see, because what it is an insurance. Insurance companies do not insure for suicide. They insure for murder. So if you die by accident, the insurance policy for your loan kicks in. If you die by suicide, it does not. So bear that in mind as well in answer to your question earlier this morning, that it doesn't. And that the problems that we look at right now, if we successfully come through them, we would look back at them and think, well, that was just a rough patch in my life. That life is good, and that it is a lesson. It is a lesson to be learned. It is okay to fail. Failure. Everybody fails at some point in time in life, and it is nothing that cannot be overcome. If you fail the exam, okay, let's rewrite it. If you fail in a relationship, okay, maybe that wasn't the best fit for you. If you fail in a particular job, maybe this is a time you knew deep in your spirit it was time to move on, but you held on. So there are lots of things, if we look at our lives, we know about and we have sometimes not dealt with. And if there are problems or stresses in your life, please get help. If you alone can't help deal with the problem, get somebody who could make some sense that you could walk through them problem at a time. But life is
precious.
Good.
Life is precious.
And God has created you for a purpose. Don't leave without fulfilling it.
Well, I must tell you, you have helped me this morning.
You're welcome.
And you are not your problems. You know, we try to define ourselves by what we own, like the gentleman said who called, or, you know, our professions, or all of these things, and that's where we can set ourselves up for these problems.
Ladies, I do appreciate your company this morning.
You're welcome.
And Miss Danielle, you know you would always be a special lady to me. Miss Danielle carried me through one of the most traumatic period of my life when I was going through divorce and this sort of things. And now I'm looking back and I'm saying, hey, that was preparation for a better life. Not, you know, making the other person look small, but it was developing me, trying to make me the better person that I was. I wasn't a good person then.
Okay.
I'm still not the best person, but I'm better than what I used to be. And I can look back now and apply it to other aspects of life, you know. Life is about, as I always say in my programs, the idea of life is not competing with the big shots, what we call the big shots and the millionaires. My only competition now is trying to be a better person than I was yesterday.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And please God in the process.
Well, of course. They can't leave him out of the mix.
Right.
So ladies, thank you very much again. And like I promised, we will continue having such conversations at varied intervals.
Thank you for having us. And thank you, audience, for listening to us.
Someone was trying to reach us, but we've exhausted the time, unfortunately. Folks, that's it for the conversation this morning, an extended version thereof. And if the good Lord spare our lives, we'll have another conversation tomorrow. Until then, have a good one. If you have to leave us now, I enjoyed your company. Thank you. Bye-bye.